I want to remember Mum like this. I don't want to go and have to identify, a burnt corpse. Your own parent. Yeah. How does someone? How do you ever get over that? That will be with me. That's with me for life. That till the day I die. I will think what were her last moments.
This is utterly devastating. How are you?
We don't know. We're lost. We're not sleeping. We're not eating. Every hour, half an hour, waking up thinking about Mum. The final moments. What did she see? She was one row behind the man who survived in row 12, and he was 12D. He was 11A. So 12. Unfortunately, we had a missed call from her at 4 a.m. which means she just to tell us she'd arrived at the airport. And the next thing you know, it was just after, I think, 1:30 p.m. My wife called me and said, my cousin has called and said there's been a crash at Air India.
How did you feel in that moment when you realised?
I didn't think it was real. I didn't think I thought it's not happening. A love for her family, especially her grandchildren. The most heartbreaking thing is she was looking so forward to seeing them. She said, I've brought for my little one's only 6. She said, I brought his lollipops, his lollies. He showed them to us. I brought lollipops. I brought the special crisps that you don't get over here for my older boy. And my cousin even said, we've packed her bag. It's full of just stuff for the kids. And to think that all that's just, she was, just looking. She was so looking forward to seeing us, and in particular the kids. The kids were everything to her. Her faith was everything to her. Her bond with the thing about Mum is my mum is her bond with her faith. It's unbreakable. Unbreakable. You can. Sorry. It doesn't matter what anybody said about her faith, about if it's obviously if it's right, it's fine. But anybody who said anything negative, she had ultimate faith, and that's the only. And she would always, in times of stress, she would always say God's name. So I know that upon takeoff, I know that she was saying his name. So. Yeah, I know that it happened 30 seconds after takeoff. So I know that as it was taking off, every time she would just be saying his name. And my only hope is it was instant. There was nothing to feel. I've not had an email from Air India.
At all?
Nothing. I've had no contact. Eventually they called from Bangalore. And they said, can you send yours and whichever other family want to come? Can you just to email us passport copies? And we'll arrange
When was this? This was 2 days after?
Around 2 days after?
Yeah, so yesterday.
Yesterday, so literally sort of the whole of Thursday, probably about Friday, late afternoon. I can't understand just the lack of empathy from Air India. I just cannot understand. And then and I did say to them, why haven't you been in touch? They're like, you can go to our website or our Twitter page. And then they called me a couple of times saying, do you want to book? And I said, which flights? They said, there's the same one from Gatwick. I said, say straight away, literally this happened on the Thursday. You're telling me on the Friday afternoon, do you want that flight this evening? That one crashed, the one coming back, where Air 172 goes out. They said, do you want Air 172? I said, how can you ask me that? My mum just died on Air India.
Are they offering you support when you get there as well, and hopefully at the airport? Are they going to look after you?
The FCDO has offered, they've said they have offers on the ground. They're setting up a tent for Monday. The British High Commission has texted me today, and they've said this is the contact number for when you land in Ahmedabad, this is the address. The only person who did contact me of their own will, no one from Air India, but from the civil hospital, the collectors, the body collectors office. They called and they said, are you Manju Maheshwari Patel's next of kin son? I said, yes. I said, who's speaking? They said, this is the collector's office. We do need a DNA sample. And I said, how did you get my details? They said, we called Air India. We called Air India, gave us your details. I said, yet, but Air India haven't contacted me. Why? How can a hospital, a mortuary, how can they contact? And at that point, would Air India not think that actually they're asking us, yet we haven't even contacted the next of kin?
How do you feel about their lack of communication, their lack of support so far?
It's absolutely disgusting. I'm appalled, angry. You know, you've got all the different emotions. You're trying to deal with mum's death. We're trying to deal with the travel arrangements. We're trying to deal with what we're going to do when we get there. He said, when you get there, there will be, just come. He texted me the address. He said, just come and give your DNA sample. And then even then it takes 3 working days before. And so basically we won't, you know, if there is a body, he said there's about 200 bodies, but there were about 240 plus deaths. He said if there's a body, we'll then hand the body over. But because he said you can't recognise the bodies. It's the worst thing.
How would you describe your mum if you were to
She was very strong. She was a very strong person, emotional. Love for her family. She really loved her family, and like I said, especially the grandkids. You know, she's got 2 granddaughters as well. My sister, unfortunately, she's passed away as well years ago. But she's got 2 granddaughters. My 2 sons, and they were everything for her. Her temple, everything very, very, very religious. Like I said earlier, her bond with her faith was just absolutely unbreakable. Nothing shook her. She had ultimate, and that's the only consoling thing. She had ultimate faith in God. So, but she was really loving. She, you know, whatever happened, you know, whatever disputes there were, this, you know, it's family. This is something that it's unimaginable. Even in my worst nightmares, like I said, since this happened, I haven't slept. I've literally slept, I would say, a total of a couple of hours. You just keep waking up and you see, this is what you see. I see her. I see, you know, I think about her last moments, and I think about the thing that you know, that kills me, that kills us. Is she was so looking forward to seeing us. You know, she kept saying, "I've brought this for you guys. I've brought that. I've brought, you know, the things for the kids."
Do you feel like you are, as a family and yourself, still in? It hasn't sunk in. You're still.
I don't think so. It's because the thing is, it's not just that happened. Then there's everything else you have to. You don't have time to grieve and you know, people are saying you've got to come to India. You've got all the calls. People are saying you've got to come now. There's a deadline. You know, you don't want the body to be unclaimed. You've got to come to India for the DNA. I mean, the last thing you want to think about when your mum's going is providing a DNA sample to identify your mum.
How do you feel about going there?
I'd rather not be. I'd rather not under under these you know, circumstances. It's really difficult. You know, the journey, thinking about it, and the worst thing is now after such a deadly incident, we have to get on aircraft.
Is there anything else you want to say about your mum, just to finish?
Yeah, it's, you know, we'll miss her. We'll miss her so much. It's you know, it's. I just can't believe that. I can't believe that she won't be. You know, I can't believe that. You know, the phone won't ring. I won't see her because she always had, when it rang, she'd do the WhatsApp one of any of my little one's picture, and I can't believe, you know, that won't come up. You know, we won't be able to talk to her. You know, she won't be able to see ask her grandchildren. She was the only thing is. I hope that it was instant. I hope she's with God now, where she you know, that faith, and with my dad, you know. I hope she just, you know, with him, and she can, you know, rest in peace now. You know, forget any worries, forget anything. And like I said, I hope it was just painless, instant, and I'm confident with her faith, with the faith that she had in her religion, in SMBS, in Swaminarayan Bhagwan, I just, you know, I know she's there now and at peace, and I hope she can, you know, I hope she can see us.
Well, for its part, in a statement, Air India says it stands in solidarity with the families of the passengers, and teams on the ground are doing everything possible to extend care and support. There's more on that story on the Sky News website and also on the Sky News app. That was